Seniors, stop! Never refrigerate these 9 foods. Here's why. Do you keep your tomatoes in the fridge to make them last longer? Are you tossing your bread in the refrigerator to avoid mold? Or maybe you're chilling your onions because you think it keeps them fresh. If you're nodding yes to any of these, you might be making some big mistakes. Storing certain foods in the fridge can ruin their flavor, texture, and even their nutrients. So, which foods should you never refrigerate? And why does it matter, especially for seniors who want to keep their meals tasty and healthy? Stick with me as we go through the 9 foods you should keep out of the fridge and the science behind why. Number 9, tomatoes. Have you ever bitten into a tomato that tastes watery and bland? If you're storing them in the fridge, that's probably why. Tomatoes are a warm weather fruit, and cold temperatures mess with their flavor and texture. When you refrigerate tomatoes, the cold air, usually around 4 degrees Celsius in a fridge, stops the ripening process. That's bad news because ripening is what builds those sweet, juicy flavors we love. A study from the University of Florida found that chilling tomatoes below 12 degrees Celsius damages their cell membranes. This makes them lose volatile compounds, those tiny molecules that give tomatoes their fresh, summery taste. The result? A mealy, flavorless tomato that's no fun to eat. For seniors, taste matters a lot. As we age, taste buds can dull, with up to 60% of people over 65 noticing reduced flavor sensitivity, according to the National Institute on Aging. A bland tomato can make salads or sandwiches less enjoyable, which might discourage healthy eating. Cold also changes the tomato's texture. The same study showed that refrigeration breaks down pectin, a natural substance that keeps tomatoes firm yet juicy. Without pectin, you get that mushy, grainy feel. Nobody wants that in their pasta sauce. So, where should you keep tomatoes? On your kitchen counter, away from direct sunlight. A room temperature of 18 to 22 degrees Celsius is perfect. They'll stay fresh for about a week, and their flavor will keep developing. If you've got a ripe tomato you can't use right away, pop it in a paper bag to slow ripening without killing the taste. Just don't let them sit in the fridge. Your taste buds deserve better. Number 8, bread. Are you sticking your loaf of bread in the fridge to keep it from going stale? I get it. Nobody likes hard, crusty bread. But the fridge is actually speeding up that process. Bread stales faster in cold temperatures because of a process called retrogradation. Here's how it works. Bread is made of starch molecules. When you bake it, those molecules hold water, keeping the bread soft. But in a fridge at 4 to 7 degrees Celsius, the starch molecules start to crystallize and push out that water. According to research from the American Institute of Baking, bread stored in the fridge can stale up to 3 times faster than bread kept at room temperature. So, that soft sandwich bread you bought, it'll turn dry and crumbly in just a couple of days. For seniors, this matters because chewing hard or dry foods can be tough, especially if you have dental issues or dry mouth, which affects about 30% of people over 65, per the Journal of the American Dental Association. Stale bread can make meals less appealing, and you might skip eating altogether. Plus, fridges are humid places. That moisture can make bread soggy, or even encourage mold growth if it's not sealed tightly. Instead, keep your bread in a cool, dry spot, like a bread box or a pantry, at 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. A cloth or paper bag works great to let air circulate without drying it out. If you won't eat it within a few days, slice it and freeze it instead. Frozen bread stays fresh for months, and you can toast slices straight from the freezer. Number 7, onions. Do you toss your onions in the fridge to keep them from sprouting? If so, you're setting them up to go bad faster. Onions are root vegetables that need air circulation to stay fresh. When you put them in the fridge, the cold, humid environment, typically 80% humidity, turns their starches into sugars. That makes onions soft, soggy, and sometimes even moldy. A study from the Journal of Food Science showed that onions stored at 4 degrees Celsius absorb moisture quickly, which breaks down their firm structure. Within a week, you might notice a slimy layer or green sprouts. Sprouted onions aren't harmful, but they taste bitter and lose their crunch, which isn't great for soups or stir-fries. For seniors, texture is key. Soft or slimy foods can be unappetizing, especially if chewing or swallowing is already a challenge. There's another issue. Onions release ethylene gas, which speeds up ripening in nearby fruits and veggies. In a crowded fridge, your apples or lettuce might spoil faster, and onions can pick up odors from other foods, like that leftover garlic chicken, making them taste weird. Keep whole onions in a dry, well-ventilated spot, like a mesh bag or bowl in your pantry, at 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. They'll last up to a month. Just don't store them near potatoes. Potatoes give off moisture and ethylene, which can make onions sprout. Chopped onions? Those can go in the fridge, but seal them in an airtight container to avoid smells. Number 6. Potatoes. Are you keeping your potatoes in the fridge to stop them from sprouting? That's a common habit, but it's a mistake. Cold temperatures turn potato starches into sugars, which changes their taste and can even make them unhealthy. Research from the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that potatoes stored below 7 degrees Celsius build up sugars like glucose and fructose. When you cook those potatoes, especially by frying or roasting, those sugars can react with amino acids to form acrylamide, a chemical linked to cancer risk in high amounts, according to the World Health Organization. Sweet, sugary potatoes also taste off in mashed dishes or fries, which can be a letdown for seniors who rely on familiar flavors to enjoy meals. The fridge's humidity also makes potatoes sprout or rot faster. Sprouts aren't just ugly. They produce solanine, a toxin that can cause nausea or headaches if eaten in large amounts. About 20% of older adults have sensitive digestion, per the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases. So avoiding risky foods is smart. Store potatoes in a cool, dark, dry place, like a pantry or cellar, at 7 to 10 degrees Celsius. Use a breathable bag, like burlap or mesh, to keep air flowing. They'll stay fresh for weeks. Check them regularly for sprouts, and cut those off if you spot them. Just keep them away from onions, as their gases can speed up spoilage. Number 5. Bananas. Do you put your bananas in the fridge to keep them from going brown? If you do, you're probably ending up with black, mushy fruit. Bananas are tropical and hate the cold. When you refrigerate them, the cold air, around 4 degrees Celsius, triggers a process called chill injury. According to the University of California, bananas stored below 13 degrees Celsius develop dark spots and soft textures because their cell walls break down. The peel turns black and the fruit inside gets mushy and overly sweet. For seniors, mushy textures can be hard to eat, especially if you have swallowing issues, which affect up to 15% of people over 70, per the American Speech-Language Hearing Association. Plus, bananas lose their fresh, tangy flavor, which can make breakfast or snacks less appealing. Bananas also give off ethylene gas, which can ripen other fridge items too fast. Your strawberries or greens might go bad sooner. Keep bananas on the counter at 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. If they're green, they'll ripen slowly over a few days. To speed up ripening, put them in a paper bag. If they're already ripe and you can't eat them, peel and freeze them for smoothies. They'll last months without losing nutrients. Number 4. Garlic. Are you storing garlic in the fridge to make it last? That's a bad move. Garlic needs dry, airy conditions to stay fresh. In the fridge's humid, cold environment, 80% humidity and 4 degrees Celsius, it gets soft and moldy fast. A study in post-harvest biology and technology showed that garlic stored below 10 degrees Celsius absorbs moisture, which triggers sprouting and fungal growth. Sprouted garlic tastes bitter and loses its punch, which isn't great for dishes like soups or roasts. For seniors, strong flavors like garlic can boost appetite, especially since taste sensitivity drops with age. Bland garlic won't do the trick. Garlic can also pick up fridge odors, making your meals taste off. And its own smell can spread to other foods, like your butter or yogurt. Store garlic in a dry, ventilated spot, like a mesh bag in your pantry, at 15 to 18 degrees Celsius. It'll last for months. Break the bulb only when you're ready to use a clove to keep the rest fresh. Number 3. Honey. Do you keep your honey in the fridge to prevent spoilage? If so, you're making it hard to use. Honey is a natural preservative. Its high sugar content and low water level make it tough for bacteria or mold to grow. Refrigeration isn't needed and can ruin its texture. According to the National Honey Board, honey stored at 4 degrees Celsius crystallizes faster because cold temperatures make its sugars form solid granules. You end up with hard, grainy honey that's tough to scoop or spread. For seniors with arthritis or weak grip strength, common in 50% of people over 65 per the CDC, this can make breakfast or tea prep frustrating. Crystallized honey is still safe to eat, but it's less enjoyable and harder to dissolve in drinks. Keep honey in a sealed jar at room temperature, around 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, in a dry cupboard away from heat. It'll stay smooth and usable for years. If it does crystallize, warm the jar in a bowl of hot water to melt the crystals back down. Number 2. Avocados. Are you chilling your avocados to keep them from over-ripening? Unless they're already ripe, that's a mistake. Avocados are another tropical fruit that needs warmth to ripen properly. Cold fridge temperatures, around 4 degrees Celsius, slow or stop the ripening process. Research from the University of California showed that avocados stored below 7 degrees Celsius develop hard, rubbery flesh and uneven ripening. You'll cut into one expecting creamy goodness, but get tough, tasteless chunks instead. For seniors, avocados are a nutrient powerhouse, full of healthy fats and fiber. But a bad texture can make them unappealing, especially if chewing is an issue. Unripe avocados should stay on the counter at 18 to 22 degrees Celsius. To speed ripening, pop them in a paper bag with an apple or banana for a day or two. Their ethylene gas helps. Once ripe, you can refrigerate them for a few days to slow further softening, but don't let them sit too long. Number 1. Coffee. Do you store your coffee beans or grounds in the fridge to keep them fresh? That's a common myth, but it's wrong. Coffee is super absorbent and picks up moisture and odors in the fridge, which ruins its flavor. A study from the Specialty Coffee Association found that coffee stored at 4 degrees Celsius loses aroma compounds faster due to humidity and condensation. You'll end up with flat, stale-tasting coffee that lacks the rich notes you love. For seniors, a good cup of coffee is often a daily joy. And bad coffee can feel like a letdown, especially if taste buds are less sharp. Fridge storage also causes temperature swings when you take coffee out, which creates condensation and speeds up staling. Keep coffee in an airtight container in a cool, dry pantry at 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. Buy only what you'll use in a month to keep it fresh. If you have extra, freeze it in small batches to avoid repeated thawing. Thanks for sticking with me through these 9 foods you should never refrigerate. If this helped you rethink your kitchen habits, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more practical tips to make your meals tastier and healthier. Drop a comment below. Do you store any of these in the fridge? Or share your own food storage tricks. See you in the next video, and keep those tomatoes on the counter.